Welcome to Saucy Tea Time with Fluff, Bunny, Nalara, and Harl. Hey guys, welcome back to another Saucy Tea Time. We have a special guest today by the name of Pixxelated.
Hello.
Yeah, there she is. She is a member of the Arcane Light that you hear us talk about all the time. I know you just love hearing about it.
Who?
Yeah, no later than now. She is an alien. So what we're going to talk about today is Warframe, a game that Annie, Nalara, and I have been playing for around 2 years.
Especially Harl.
Well, Harl started at the same time we have, but yeah, Harl's been playing it more on than we have, which means we're going to be talking about it again when Harl finally gets able to join us on our podcast, so he can talk all about it. Warframe. Well, let's see. How do you describe Warframe? You have space,
Money.
you have ninjas, you have Nalara being angry about the money system because it's so horrible. But it's pretty much it's not a first-person shooter because it's over the shoulder, but it's pretty much space ninjas. You have your guns and all that. You have your melee weapon, and you have your warframes, which are the suits that you wear that have the abilities themselves. And each one of those things that I listed, primary, secondary, melee weapon, and your warframe, are each weapons. Even your warframe, even though you think that's your character, it's not. You are wearing a suit that represents a character from the past, but it gives you abilities, and it's a weapon that you can equip and switch to a separate warframe representation of a certain character from the past. And they all level up separately from each other, while you yourself, your account levels up via leveling up these individual weapons in Warframe. So we're get a lot more into it, but you know how long we just said how long we've been playing it, but I was wondering, Pix, about how long do you think you've been playing it?
Well, I think now that we're going on 8 months that I started with my dear brother, who's also in the Arcane, Rav, and yeah, it's thanks to you actually. I think that we got into it in the first place because you were like, "Oh, come check out this great game."
Oh yeah, around the time that we started, I was always hopping off the Mumble and Secret World, be like, "I'm gonna go play Warframe now," and I think one day you guys finally asked about it.
Yeah, we
Much
just
to
like,
your regret, because now you can't stop playing it.
oh god, yeah. And I know for a fact that Rav wishes he could join us tonight, but unfortunately he's got, stuff that we don't mention, like Final Fantasy XIV, but that game is vastly inferior to Warframe.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Nalara approves of this message.
So mean.
But so Warframe is a hub world game. Is the best way I would describe it in terms of how you go about it. Basically,
it's an MMO that's mission based. Like,
yeah, it's sort of like if any of you are playing or have played the Skyforge beta at all. If you think about that, you have that hub that you're in, and you click on the planet, and then you choose what you choose what mission you want to do on what planet, and that's what Warframe is. It changed a lot, but right now it basically is you're in your ship that you use to take missions, and you choose what planet, and you choose a mission on that planet, and you go there. And I mean, that's super simple in and of itself. It used to be a bit more complicated, but it also had the map, the planet map itself had a bit more atmosphere. To explain Nalara, well, you should explain Nalara because you're the one who actually mentioned it earlier about how you missed the old system.
oh, I don't miss it.
Oh, you just thought it was cool?
I just think it's weird how.
You went from that to this,
Well,
what we have now.
The thing I miss is like when you select a planet, you get to like now you have to like scroll through like you have to spin the planet around to look at all the missions that are around it, like, and it's kind of hard to figure out what mission you need to unlock to get the next mission that you want if you have it blocked. But
Oh,
before
yeah.
it was like a connect the dots kind of thing, where it's like, all right, here's this mission, it's connected to this mission, and like, you can connect to this mission, which opens up 2 other missions or whatever, and branches off. It was like a kind of like a tree, family
Yeah.
tree kind of thing that kind of split up.
It's
But they
almost like a
changed it
journey.
now. Yeah, it made you feel like you were progressing, even though you were going through the same 5 levels again and again and again and again. But but I do like the new ship, especially now that you can customize it and stuff. Your own ship that you walk around in and stuff like that, rather than being these weird gods looking down at the solar
Yeah.
system.
It was really strange for us. You had no movement outside of, well, in the beginning when we started playing, you had no movement outside of missions, period. You were, like Nalia just mentioned, when you're looking at the planet, you were just this, you were just this thing
Just a
in the
giant
back,
Warframe.
in the shadows, looking down upon the planets,
It's very
judging
ominous.
them silently.
Yeah.
Because you don't speak, you're the quiet type, quiet, serious, kill shit. And it's a lot different. The system now is basically the same as it was. It's just more approachable because we can actually see it as an entity in our ship rather than just a word in a menu. And it's kind of funny how that works out, where it's essentially the same thing, but it's easier to use because of the fact that it's a more solidified and approachable aspect of the game just by putting it into a 3D model and you can see it, go to it, press X on it now. And what I'm speaking of is basically we have our foundry where we craft stuff, I craft our weapons, or craft our warframes that we collect parts of. And when we get into that later, you'll see why we really don't like the money system because it all ties into that. You have your mod station. We'll get more into that later, but it's basically how you improve your warframe and your weapons themselves. And of course, you have your arsenal, and this is what you use to decide which of the primary, secondary, melee, and warframe you're going to choose.
I think another thing worth mentioning about Warframe is also just how gorgeous it looks.
It's pretty.
I was just I've only recently gotten a new computer, so you know I've been able to run it on full settings now, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But even on my crummy laptop, it was pretty good. But yeah, if when you move from planet to planet as well, and you come out of a mission and you look out of the big window in front of your spaceship, you actually can see the planets, and they do change as you go along around the solar system. Like right now, my spaceship is parked outside of the void, and all you can see is this big nebula just hovering around in space doing whatever it does, being the void.
I was just doing my thing here. You can watch, but don't touch.
Just doing its thing.
Just a solar system.
You know, doing what a solar system does. I don't know.
And it's funny, it's such a simple game if you think about it, but it's in terms of
Mostly.
the idea of it.
Yeah.
Like
The core mechanics are really simple, but like to get certain items and stuff, you have to like farm this particular item on this particular mission, go to this particular thing that might drop, maybe not, and get these keys to go to this one. That's the only way to do these other types of missions where you need to farm other stuff. It's just it can get kind of convoluted at times, but
It can, yeah, especially now with the recent updates as well, where when you go into spy missions, you actually have to be careful not to trigger the alarms, because it used to be that if you were in a spy mission and you triggered the alarms and the building went into lockdown, it wouldn't affect the outcome of the mission, but now you will effectively fail if you trigger the alarms.
Yeah, it was basically go to 4 different terminals here, 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 and here, collect the thing, and leave. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds a certain layer.
Yeah.
Makes it quite intense, actually.
What's
like
really
those new spy
surprised, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because Moo's really good at first-person shooter games. But it does
What?
surprise me that Moo really likes this game.
Eh.
I don't know if that would be the perfect description for it. It's a game that's easy to get obsessed with.
I don't really think it's a first-person shooter as much as it is just an action game with very, very mild RPG elements. Like, there's some quests, but it's not very,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
so
story-driven.
So the one game it kind of reminds me of is there's this game by Platinum Studios, the same people who made Bayonetta. It was called Vanquish. Yeah, if you guys ever played it, it's a pretty sweet game. But yeah, it totally reminds me of the way that the way you slide around and stuff, and
Yeah.
the way the game mechanics work. Yeah.
So more
know-
on, go on, Miller.
I know the reason why I really got into it when you first showed it to me was that you showed me a trailer. It's probably an old trailer now. They probably have new ones, but an old trailer where it showed like the first like 3 Warframes you can choose from, like Excalibur Mag or Loki or something like that. And they were just, looking fancy, doing their shit. And I was like, all right, this looks kind of cool, but I'm sure the real game won't be this cool.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few games where like the real game's actually cooler than any of the trailers I've seen for it. So
I know that's
like-
something I bring up a lot when people are like, was like, oh, Warframe, what's that about? That seems cool, and I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. I'll explain a little bit about it, but ultimately I end up saying, well, really, you should go watch a trailer of Warframe. And it's one of the few games where you watch the trailer and you see all that badass shit you're doing, and then you go to play the
You
game
can
and you're
do
like,
it.
holy crap, I can
you
do
can actually
all
do
that.
this stuff. Yeah.
It's
Well,
not just for show.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they do the gameplay trailers like with actual gameplay, people controlling it and stuff.
Yeah, the thing is as well though, like when you first start out in Warframe and you enter the game in the tutorial, it is mind blowing the way they've actually integrated a cutscene into the gameplay. It is actually really like that moment. It's literally the first sequence. You're trying to get your bearings, and it just seamlessly goes from being a cutscene to being gameplay, and you don't really notice any difference aside from the fact that you're like, oh wait, I'm controlling it.
They're not like pre-rendered cutscenes.
No.
That's good.
And that would make sense in concerning the trailer, because the trailer, it looks like a trailer simply the fact it's not over the shoulder like it is in most of the game. You're seeing it from the side point of view, and it's really seamless the way they do it. Just have like it's like they're shooting a movie and they have a cameraman and points here, here, and here, but there's actually someone controlling the player, and it's really neat. It's really also really neat that there's actually a tutorial now, because when we started, we
Yeah,
just
there
had
wasn't.
Mercury. That was our tutorial.
Yep.
Oh, we could go into Mercury. Let's try this out. And then I was like, wow, I learned how to flip and I learned
This
how
ain't
to
Mercury.
climb stuff. And I was like, I fucking love this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started out, you start essentially like without giving too much away about what the storyline is, even how slim it is at the moment. But what it is, you start out, you come out of stasis or whatever you've been kept into. You've been awakened by the Lotus, who is basically a computer
bitch.
program. Well, yes,
Annoying.
a really
endurance.
annoying computer program designed to guide you, and I say guide. What I actually mean is annoy the shit out of you.
Manipulate you.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. And you're under attack by some kind of alien with a molten face, and you need to get out of there.
Don't make fun of Captain Bora's face.
His turkey legs are quite fashionable this season.
That boss was hard as shit when we first fought him.
Oh god, yes.
I guess that's true for anyone who's just playing, but his mechanics Well, it's the fact that it's like the first boss, the first official boss you come to. I mean, now it's more of a beat boss and progress. It used to be if someone took you, like if you went with someone into a planet you didn't own, you unlock that planet, that map, and you can just go from there. And when we doing that, we did that a lot between the four of us. Um, where we didn't, some of us didn't really kill a lot of the bosses. We only bothered when we wanted to farm a certain warframe.
Yeah.
But now you actually have to kill it. So what's interesting about it being like the first boss you actually have to fight, and the fact that it's pretty hard. It's not first boss in like other games where it's just like, oh, this this is because it's weird because it is an MMO, but you only play with 4 people, but there's still sort of like a story line, sort of like Pix says, and you fight bosses. They're not really. I mean, every instance can be labeled a dungeon. I mean, it's not really like a dungeon in an MMO where you fight a boss. It's just an instance that has a boss. So for the first boss, it's not first boss material where it's like, oh, it's getting me ingrained to the game. This is pretty easy. Oh, so I do this and stuff happens, and maybe I should learn this for future. It's like fucking die. I'm your enemy. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Come at me, bro. And you're just like, shit. I better come in here with 3 more people other than just me.
Yeah, and then occasionally you'll get an alert on a boss planet. And it used to be that when the alert was on the boss planet that you couldn't play the regular map. Now you can make a choice between either the regular map or the alert. But like I said, it didn't used to be like that. So, imagine if, there's an infestation alert on that first boss map and you've just come out of the game and you don't know what it means, then you'd be, in for an ass kicking because that one's even worse.
Oh yeah, for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I really like how they did that because they did that, it also fixes the issues they have when you try to go to an alert, but one person in your group does not have that planet unlocked, and it just sends you to the regular planet because of the fact that they uh, when you click on it, it's just a regular planet without the alert because someone in your squad doesn't have the planet. Now that we can choose between the alert and the regular map, if you guys aren't getting it, alerts are just random events that pop up on planets that you've unlocked and you get special rewards. Anyways, but now that we can actually choose between doing the alert and the planet, regular planet map, we don't have that issue where it just won't take us to alert and we gotta unlock everything on the way for the one person who doesn't have it.
God, that was annoying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really was.
Yes,
But
yeah.
let's talk about a bit about, I mean, the gameplay. Obviously, we've mentioned that it's somewhat of a shooter, but the way it actually works is, as I mentioned, your Warframe is actually your weapon. Your Warframe itself, depending on what you pick, has abilities specific to that Warframe. The abilities, and I'm not talking about the stats because they all obviously do have different stats, different armor values, different max HP values, and all that stuff. But what really makes your Warframe the Warframe that you like or don't like is the fact that it has 4 unique abilities to that Warframe, and it's basically one is usually a projectile. Usually, your 2 is, well, after that it's pretty unique actually. 1 is usually a projectile, and that's where the common that's where it's the most common. Everything else is completely different usually. Um, what like let's see.
Special powers.
Since you're the guest picks, what's your favorite Warframe? And we'll use that as an example.
Well, my favorite Warframe is Hydroid. Hydroid, yes.
You're the pervy uncle.
Yes.
Isn't that like Carl's favorite?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
one of his
Harl's
favorites.
favorite. Maybe it used to be his favorite. Maybe
Tentacle
Coma or
rape.
Mesa. Who knows? But so your one is basically just a projectile, right?
Yeah, it is. It is just
So-
basically a ball of water that gets hurled at the opponent.
And your
Yes, splash.
2 is what?
I think 2 is the tidal wave.
Oh, that little
Where-
dash.
Yeah, it's a dash where you turn into a body of water and you launch yourself as like like a little tidal wave, and you can sweep the enemies across the map with it.
Okay, that's neat. That's
And
Go ahead.
the number 3 is the one where you turn into a puddle and you can hide from attacks and regenerate your shields, and at the same time you can pull enemies under and kill them. And if you've got a certain mod, you can also pull your teammates under and heal them
Oh.
at the same time. Yeah. And number 4 is basically just tentacle rape. Basically, that's what it is.
Pretty much.
You just get like random tentacles flailing out of the walls, tentacles of water killing everything. It's really funny.
And you see, that's so it's so strange to think about it. That we're playing like a shooter game, and yet you have all that fucking on your character, right? Those are all the abilities you can use, and it's kind of strange to think about that sometimes, because that's just one of many. Like, okay, if we're gonna use another comparison, Moo Bunny, what's your favorite Warframe? We'll just compare.
Nova.
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 Oh, that. Okay, so what's the number 1?
It's the little ball thingies.
Balls
Oh,
bit.
so it's not a projectile. It's sort of a
Well, it is a
Kinda.
projectile.
Yeah.
It is a projectile for Nova number 1.
Yeah, it puts the little balls around Nova, and if enemy gets near it, that's when it shoots away, right?
Yep.
Yes.
It shoots at them. Okay, so what's your number 2?
It's a big ball.
Oh, is that the big ball that you can control? Like
Yes.
you can direct where it goes, and you can shoot it to make it more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it explodes.
And your number 3 is the teleport.
It's the the wormhole.
Basically, it shoots you forward.
Hmm.
And then your number 4 is your ulti,
The-
which we all know about. What the ulti does, for those who don't know about it, is instead of having a mass AoE ulti that instantly kills everything, instead it's a mass AoE ulti that slows all the enemies in the range. And when we say range, you can have a fuck ton of range. Like the amount of overpowered abilities and things you could do within this game is incredible. But anyways, slows enemies and it affects them with antimatter, and any attacks they take get like a certain percent of damage based on how high you rank your Warframe and what mods you have on it. And if it explodes, it triggers a chain reaction, or it pretty much triggers a chain reaction where it explodes and it'll do damage to the next one, and most likely that one will explode, and then everything just suddenly explodes. So it's still a mass AoE. It's just a bit more clever than all the other. Ooh, press 4 and win. But you see, you have her favorite, and then you have Pixxelated's favorite. 2 Warframes, completely different, water-based with much different mechanics and their abilities, and you have Nova, which is themed around antimatter and dark. Well, I think it's just antimatter, and it's completely different. Each Warframe, well, most of the Warframes are unique like this. Excalibur sucks, but they're reworking him, so. And any
has a
fans of
penis on
Excalibur,
his
I'm
head.
sorry. I'm sorry that I said Excalibur sucks.
He
I
has
like
a
his
penis
muscles.
on his head.
He's
so-
very handsome, except for his head
His
dick.
penis head.
And he's very good in Conclave as a friend of ours told us. We get it. You love him. We don't.
Yeah,
So-
but like, sorry.
Not going.
Mentioning Warframes, it's also interesting and good to see that every Warframe has got its own theme. Obviously, like Nova antimatter, Hydroid water base, and then you've got a dragon one, you've got a shooting one. Like it's really cool that they come up with all these themes, and that they all you can fit them around your play style, and you can definitely find one you like and stick with it and be good at it. I mean, I like that the game doesn't confine you to just strictly like hack and slash. Like cookie cutter builds that, you're either like, an engineer or you're, I don't know, a sniper or anything like that. It doesn't confine you. It gives you the ability to switch and to change things around the way you feel fit.
Yeah, and speaking of no cookie cutter builds, even quote end game when you're doing those high end defense missions and whatnot, and most people have a certain type of mod setup they use with certain warframes. While those may be preferable, it doesn't fucking matter because you it's still so versatile that there's so many different quote builds you can use, and it's like you said, it's really wonderful that they've managed to make it pretty balanced in terms of PvE. Um, and it works really well together. And that's just the Warframe. That's the weapon that you wear. You have, I mean, okay, weapons. There's really not much to go into. You have a primary, and you have a secondary, and you have a melee weapon. So that sounds like a lot of other games. So I'm sure you guys can figure that one out. But what really makes all of this special are the mods you can put on everything. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go on,
yeah.
Pix.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, the mods really like can make, or your Warframe and your weapons for that matter, something else. Like, for example, there's mods that extend your power, your reach, so that when you, like with Nova, when you press number 4 and you go into your ultimate, that your reach might be like, the entire room, and the rooms can be quite massive as well. So you got that instead of like, just your area, like, your area of sight. So I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty cool. You can actually, like, if you really wanted to, you could actually build a Warframe that could dominate an entire map just by itself,
Yeah.
if you go about it the right way.
This game makes you feel like a total badass.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean, between the parkour system, the new melee system, which I absolutely love, as you guys saw today, I was just not putting my freaking sword away or my staff, and the weapons and Warframe system itself, it just makes you feel like a badass. Now, the mods that we keep mentioning is basically each weapon and each Warframe. There's a different number of slots, but I think the Warframes just have 2 more slots than the weapons do. I don't quite remember, but doesn't matter. Same thing that we're going to be talking about. Basically, you have these different mods, like Pix said. You have mods that extend your reach. Not only do they extend your reach, you can upgrade that mod that extends your reach, so it extends your reach even more. So you can make yourself a bit overpowered. Well, in some of the regular missions at least.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Itty bitty.
You still need teammates. You need teammates to be overpowered with you, or you're just gonna die. I mean, it sounds like, oh, this game just wants to make you feel good because you win everything, which is not true. It's quite a challenge. It's quite difficult, but it's that balance. It's somehow really difficult, challenging, yet you still feel like a total badass, overpowered goon. That I
Even when
just
you're
love
getting
so
your ass
much about
kicked.
it. Yeah, you're getting your ass kicked like, I'm overpowered, but I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're the most. You feel like you're the most badass person in, well, the solar system, and then along comes, like, the
Ancient
next bad
Disruptor.
guy. And
Ancient
you're just
Disruptor
like,
will ruin your day all day.
Oh my god, I fucking hate disruptors.
Now, see, we're really up talking this game. That's because we really love it. But there's one thing about this game. It's so badass, and you have so many cool weapons. You have so many different Warframe rounds, right? I mean, we all have a lot of Warframes. I have the most. I have 18 Warframes. That's because I have no life. You have this wide selection, but to get, like today, we were farming all day for Pixxelated to get a Warframe called Frost. I'm not gonna talk more about him because it's a Warframe. Frost. Do the math. What's his thing?
Ice power.
Nice! Oh, I never would have guessed. Anyways, we were farming a boss for a while, and we still didn't get all the parts. But then the boss is pretty hard itself. But while that in itself is not so bad, it's the fact that to do a Warframe, for example, for Pix to be able to have Frost and make Frost, she needs the Frost blueprint, which is the overall blueprint that takes the 3 smaller parts that you need to make for the actual Frost. Now, to use the Frost blueprint, she needs to have a helmet, a chassis, and a systems. And this is the same for all Warframes. They need a helmet, chassis, a systems, and an overall blueprint to put them on. But you have to make those individual things. You have to have all the materials to make the helmet, chassis, systems. And when you have all the materials and you have the money to start crafting, it takes 12 hours, not in-game hours, 12 real
Actual hours.
12 actual hours. I mean, you can make them all at once, but chances are, unless you're like decked out in supplies and money, you're gonna farm, start one, farm, start another, etc., etc.
Well, unless you're me, who
Unless
just pretty
you're
much
Pix, who
hoards.
spends no money ever for some reason. But still, you still need supplies, though.
Yeah, but I hoard those as well, so really I got a ton of
whatever.
everything.
You're just weird. But like, it takes 12 hours, 12 real hours to make each part, and then you put them all into the blueprint, and then it takes that damn blueprint 3 days to make your Warframe.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
This is
granted,
all like. This is what leads to Warframe's worst quality.
yes,
Like it's
Them
it's
being
free to
profiting.
play.
it's
It is free to play in the worst possible way. Like
yes,
Well,
they
That's
want
how
your
they make
money
money,
so
though.
bad. Yeah, but
still,
like if you
even if
compare
they
this to
didn't
like
do it
Path
so
of Exile, which
Yeah.
is a free to play game, it is so much better because their purchases are all like cosmetic stuff that you don't need to actually enjoy more of the game.
but you spend on anyways.
Yeah, it's
Well, each game has their own way of doing it.
Well, the thing was Warframe that before we even fully understood the game, there are plenty of people. I don't know if I should say shamefully or if I should be proud of the fact, including me, who spent $250 on the game without knowing much about it already to become a founder.
I was a
And
founder too.
I still, yeah, I'm a founder too, and we still spend money on it. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't. I understand the Warframes. Make the Warframes 12 hours each part and make it take 3 days to build that Warframe. I understand that those are the Warframes. They're literally what the game is named after, and they're an integral part of the game.
Yeah,
Make
but there's
those
more.
the things that you're encouraged to buy instead of having to unlock all these different planets just to get to one boss, to farm it for hours, and then to take even more hours to make each part to have the Warframe. Okay, I'll buy that. That's fine. But it doesn't have to be so crazy aspected with that, with every single little thing in the game.
Well, I
Like-
think. Well, you got to think about it because they have that trade system now. You can literally buy a little bit of platinum and then find a way to like double it
Well,
and
you don't
just
even have
keep
to
a
buy
constant
platinum.
flow.
You can. Well, I guess I see your point because you literally don't have to buy platinum. You can go through the game, get the Warframes you want, and then once you get to a certain, even once you get your first rank 30 weapon Warframe, and once you get your first rank 30 everything, just hitchhike your way to the Oregon Derelict, farm mods that you can sell for quite a bit of platinum. So I guess
Yeah.
I see like with the whole trade system. Well,
Yeah.
I mean it's still a hassle, but it's not as much of a hassle as it used to be. I guess I'm just berating about how it used to be when we played as it was starting out, and it was just so bad.
Well, it doesn't help when the game encourages you to get more platinum when you're building something that takes 72 hours and it's like, hey, 50 platinum and this can be
Yeah.
done right now. Or
Well,
but-
that's how they get you
yeah,
to
and
spend
that's
money.
and it's
That's how every game gets you to spend money.
But on the
Yeah.
other hand, though, it's also like it has to be said that the trade system is pretty unique in the fact that it lets you trade the the microtransaction currency, it lets you trade that for in-game stuff. So really, in comparison to other games that have, microtransactions like that, it is a lot fairer as well, because if you are willing to put in, the hours and
you will have to.
you don't have a
God.
life, you can farm everything for free and, still get platinum, in your
it just
account
takes
without.
so long.
Yeah,
It does take
mean,
long.
it definitely is a lot better. Like, I don't feel so helpless now. Like, because I know that if I need 20 platinum to buy a Forma or to buy a reactor or a catalyst, I don't feel so helpless because those things are so rare that it was very infuriating when we needed them and there was no way to get one other than either wait for every other Friday, which is how often it would spawn as an alert for a blueprint. Well, hope you get the blueprint that you need for whichever one you happen to need at that point in time, and then wait for the next one, or buy platinum. I think $5 minimum, and then buy it. Now I know that if I need a Forma, a catalyst, or a reactor, I can sell one of the many mods that I have accrued, or sell a few of them, and I'll have enough to buy a few of what I need. And you're right, that is really nice. I think at this point I am just getting very long awaited frustration from how it used to be. Like, it was so bad when we first started.
But on the other hand, like, every now and again, obviously, as also in a way to encourage you to buy platinum, you get 25 to 40% off in login rewards.
I think there's a 75% off too. I think I gotten that once.
Yeah,
That'd
it
be
might
crazy.
be. Yeah,
It's
so
like
you
rare,
do.
but it's there.
So you do get like these discounts, and when you do get these discounts, it is quite
Yeah.
it is quite nice to just be like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna get some platinum and I'm just gonna get like a couple of frames I really, really want. It's like, I think my biggest issue with the microtransactions is the primes, because I think they are terribly overpriced for what they are.
And pointless.
And pointless, yes.
I personally, I mean, they look cool, I'll grant you. I mean, Ember Prime looks like a badass. But I find the whole idea of primes just, I don't like it. I mean, we know why they're doing it. Oh, they already bought all their Warframes. Let's make skins for these Warframes, but they're going to be actually separate
It makes you feel like whenever you have that Warframe, it's like, well, here's the real Warframe. It's like you thought you had this Warframe and that's your favorite, but this is like the better one. So it's like you need to
I
get
feel
this
like,
now.
what's the point of me going and getting these Warframes? I mean, farming Warframes, yes, that's understandable, and then buying the Prime.
And
but
then
like,
next they're
if
gonna
you're
have like legendary
impatient like
Warframes.
me, and you just want that Warframe now, and they come out a month later with a Prime, I'm like, fuck. What now?
Although I have to say, they still haven't made Limbo Prime.
There's some they haven't made.
They're going to.
Yeah, I mean, they started making. Do they have Mesa Prime?
No.
No, it's
No,
too
okay.
Isn't Mesa the newest one?
Yeah,
No,
that's why I was stopping myself at saying, because they are starting to like slowly make primes of all older first Warframes.
The older ones, yeah.
I think Volt's the next one that's gonna get a prime release, or has gotten the prime release.
Yeah, he has a prime release right now.
I'm surprised they did Nova so soon.
Oh, that's right.
She's
Yeah,
fairly
Nova was
recent.
like, I think she was like a fan favorite because of her ass.
She
I
does
think
have
she
nice
looks
ass.
weird.
Smooth.
I do think Nova looks really weird. I
think her default head looks like a scary ass woman with a really, really, really tight ponytail or bun above their head.
So basically, she looks like, a British person from a council estate who has no money and tries to kill everyone in sight.
Oh goodness!
And
Yes, exactly that. That's what I was thinking.
These people do exist. Okay, that actually does make Nova even scarier.
But like, they have definitely come a long way and improved greatly from when we first started playing. And
It's
they're
more than 10
revamping the
levels now.
parkour system. I already like the parkour system, but
Yeah.
they're revamping it and making it even better. Parkour 2.0. I see some videos. It looks pretty awesome.
Oh yes, the Parkour 2.0 is probably gonna be like the best update since the Archwing, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Archwing, I don't know if you were here earlier, Pix, but I'm gonna mention again for the podcast. Harl told us about a stream that they were watching showing off Parkour 2.0, and the person who was playing accidentally like fell into the water, and then as soon as she went into the water, like things that looked like the Archwing just suddenly appeared on her back, and she started swimming. And then the devs was like, turn it off! They're not supposed to see that." So they are making
What?
they are making underwater stuff, and they're making underwater exploration, it seems, and it's going to be similar to how the Archwing functions.
That would be
That's
cool.
interesting because I do like the concept and the feel of the Archwing. I just think that there should be like more missions and it should have a
Yes.
slightly smoother control because I do get lost in space quite easily.
You
But
hit your head on
basically-
so much stuff.
Yes, you do.
just bash into it like boom, and
You
your whole
do.
character flies backwards and does a backflip. It's like what?
Yeah, but at the same time though, you're like, I am a badass
Yeah,
Gundam. I
yeah.
look like a Gundam.
I suddenly don't need oxygen.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Well, to be honest, that might be built into the Archwing.
Like,
That's plugged into your shoulder.
goes into your back and
Yeah.
puts
You
holes
know-
in your lung. Oh god.
I
You
breathe
know,
out
we
my
do-
shoulder blades. They're
Well,
hollow.
I think they might like be doing something like that because you do go into your ship backwards.
Yeah.
So you know you might be breathing through your
goodness.
back.
That seems claustrophobic to me.
Ah.
So yeah.
Oh boy, this is a really fun game, isn't it?
Yeah, I
It's-
think.
yeah. I will say, Warframe is like my perfect Zen game where I put on some music, go to Warframe, turn off the music, and kill everything. Just have a great time and don't think about anything. Just do that.
Activate the lasers.
Or just shout at everyone while you're on Warframe. The best part is if you're on Mumble or Vent or whatever your
Yeah.
thing of choice is, it's just so much fun to just shout ludicrous things down the microphone while you're killing stuff, usually involving their Warframe in a very like innuendo-like situation, usually making dirty comments about Hydroid's tentacles or Ember's thighs or whatever.
Yeah, we could just be going on about anything, and because like we could talk about anything because while it is a group effort, like overall it's quite individual. You're in a squad, but what you're doing is you're watching out for your own survival, and so sometimes someone gets down, you're like, okay, I guess I'll save him.
Sometimes you can't do that though.
But it's like even though it's a group effort and you work together, you do it in such a way that you don't have to be like, okay, go here, go do this. Pick, what the fuck? Help me, help me, help me. No, it's like, oh, dude, you fucking see that? I'm so badass. Oh man, I know that.
Did you see that roll? Oh my god, that
Holy
slide.
shit! Oh, stop banishing me. Oh fuck! I'm just trying to give you energy.
Why did that guy run off? Oh well, he's dead. Well,
Did you see that
come on.
boss's face? He's just a head.
Oh my god.
Let,
it's okay,
let's
it's
just
fine.
let's just leave him. Let's just leave him. He's dead. He's too far away. We'll die if we'll go with him.
He's a random person. He's a dick anyway. Just leave him.
Yes, you'd be surprised how many times that happens. Actually,
Oh god, it does happen all the time.
We even had someone call us fucking morons today. It was pretty funny.
Really?
And I was like, leave, and they left. They were gonna leave anyways. I just felt like I felt like I was dominating them, you know. I was like, okay, I gotta type this before they leave, so that they see it, and then after they leave, they're like, oh fuck, now he thinks I left because he told me to.
It's all psychological dominance or whatever.
Yeah.
Moo is just in heaven right now.
Whatever you mean. I
What
don't even
did
know
you
what you're
win?
talking about.
You won a free studio to Orlando Studios. I don't think I said that correctly. You won the studio of Orlando Studios. That's
It's
what
yours. You own it.
You own it now, but you can't write on it whenever you want. That's what you can't. You can't. What did they say? Don't like use your own product or whatever. Yeah, it's the same with amusement parks. I'm sorry, but back to Warframe. We're gonna play the shit out of Warframe after we're done with this.
Oh hell yeah!
All I can say is bleeding scarecrow.
Yes.
Bleeding Scarecrow.
I know Savage will appreciate that. So.
Yeah, you will. For
But
those
yeah.
of you who don't know, because he hasn't said anything, Savage is actually listening in. Say hi real quick, Savage, if you're
Like
here.
a creepy motherfucker.
Okay.
I guess he's not here.
Then. That actually is kind of creepy now, because I don't know when he's listening or not.
Oh, he just wanted to listen.
I don't know, what more can we say about Warframe? I mean, we didn't really cover anything, but
we have
actually covered everything because.
Well, there is one thing we haven't covered, for us specifically. When we first started, Warframe had like no really story at all, or even like characters at all. It's starting to add it now and give like backstory to Warframes, and frankly, I couldn't care less because we pretty much
Yes.
decided to write our own fan fiction, I guess, of Warframe.
Yes, pretty much.
Or all the Warframes as characters. And that's actually much more fun than exploring anything that this game's story that it's trying to do now, because well, it barely exists right now. But I prefer when it didn't exist at all, when it was clear that they weren't trying to really have much of a story, and I was like, all right, great. Then don't have to worry about it, because we'll just make our own. That's more fun.
Yeah, and actually, I think on the next podcast when we
Hi, sorry, I couldn't talk. I was playing Warframe.
Well, but when we finally get Harl on the podcast and we talk about Warframe again, we should definitely go over our lore.
Yeah.
The perverted one and we'll just add we'll just keep the perverted note along with the serious side of each Warframe.
However, there's another aspect we did completely miss out. Speaking of Harl, and how much time he put into making our clan headquarters,
our dojo,
designing it, our dojo.
Oh, yeah.
That thing.
Which, yeah.
Savage goes on about how, oh man, these others look so nice. Yeah, those others got 1,000 people. There was literally just 4 of us, but really it was just one of Harl. That's all it was. It was Harl.
Pretty much, yeah.
He made that thing. We came in every now and then. Oh yeah, we're contributing. We're helping Harl.
Even though we weren't playing.
we were just, we're okay, we'll come, we'll play a little bit. Oh, I'll put some stuff in. Here you go, Harl. No, Harl built that shit. Oh my god. Our dojo may not look nice, but Harl put his blood, sweat, and tears in that, and I love it. It looks beautiful, including that random ass snowman.
Get rid of the Christmas shit, Harl, if you're listening to this. Or I will. It's June. It's June.
Who cares? It's Christmas in Warframe, apparently.
Where did he even get that?
I don't know. It shouldn't even be in the game. Fucking snowman.
Yeah.
Like, there's no place.
But as Pix was saying outside our ramblings, yeah, we have clan. That's basically the guild, and you make your guild housing. I don't have any experience with guild housing. In Final Fantasy XIV, you can choose what you place inside, but I don't know anything about that. In Warframe, you have your dojo, which just floats in space. Your dojo is a building in space. You put together your own hallways, add your own elevators, make your own levels. that you have to plan out your elevators. Thank goodness Harl is a genius and he's really good at this kind of shit. And he planned out all the elevators, connected them to all the stories.
Yeah, you had to like build them a certain way, right? In order
Yeah,
to get, like, the
he had to build
maximum
the hallways
space.
up above because the different rooms that we have that he has added, like they have weird shapes. So he had to plan it out ahead of time after he found out what shape they were, and make it all mesh together. Because I think we have either 3 or 4 levels. Well, like the bottom 2 levels is basically like the bottom levels is like our reactor, and the second to last level is basically our barracks, and that determines how much people we can have in our dojo. And then the top 2 levels is the good shit.
Yeah, where we've got labs and everything to research new technology and to get like new
Exclusive weapons and
blueprints.
stuff.
Yeah, weapons and blueprints for new frames and everything.
I can only say we helped out the most when it came to blueprints because we saw shit we wanted.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
We're
it's
awful
pretty
people.
impressive. I mean, now we got more people, but at the time, before we got Pixxelated and other people from Arcane, it was literally just 4 of us: Carl, Bunny, Lair, and I.
Yep.
And we in terms of our labs, we've got almost everything that that people want when they join a clan, and those are usually things that are in the clans that have hundreds of people. And we did it with Harl.
Yeah.
So you see-
we helped on the research blueprints, but the dojo itself is Harl.
You see, this whole podcast was just a ruse to get you to join our clan.
Yes, it is.
Join us. We are we're the Arcane Light right now because we're a division game for the Arcane Light. Normally we'd be the Marinating Englishmen, but we're nice people. We decided to share.
And it's also just because the Arcane Light, and I don't just mean the Warframe division, but like the entire group of the Arcane Light is actually just secretly out for world domination. That's why we've got all these division games.
Yeah, we're coming for
to
you,
get you.
fucking.
Yeah.
Think a game quick. We're coming for you, WoW. You're next.
Well, one of the like just this aside, nothing to do with Warframe for a second, just on the Arcane Light. It is actually one of the biggest clans, no, cabals. It's in Secret World, it's called a cabal, but it's basically a clan of the Secret World, actually. Because of the way we recruit.
Yeah, plus we're super nice people. What's funny is a little bit more off of topic of Warframe, but sort of on topic of Warframe because we're talking about video games. Is how we're super nice. We claim casual because anyone is welcome in the community, right? But we have quite a bunch, not hardcore, but players who are, if all of us included, I'm not going to be shy about this, who are like top tier players when it comes to some of these video games, even though we are a casual cabal. A lot of us are really top tier and hardcore players, except for Nalir. Nalir bows down to no anything, nothing. She
You're all
is
supposed
a
to bow
lone
down
snake.
to me.
Yes, we bow
Yeah.
down to Nalir.
Yeah.
Little does the Arcane Light know
Little
this
does it
is
know
all
that
just
there's
a ruse, and Nalir's gonna take over.
I'm a parasite inside your little.
Well, I think as well though, we claim casual because we are we are laid back more than we are.
Yeah.
We're not assholes.
Yeah, we're not assholes. We're not like, those little 15-year-olds that play World of Warcraft all day and then, get angry when you don't know the raid and all that, and then, kick you or anything like that.
I take it back. I'm a bit of an asshole.
Well,
I'm a
we've
total
all we've all got our moments.
Well, what I mean is, we play casual. I am so hardcore, mean, and against freaking players that are basically hardcore, where video games, where they're. I hate elitists. That's what it is. Even though the way we play, we could very well be elitist because we play really well. That you would think that we would be elitist, but we aren't. But like I hardcore hate elitists so to the point Like, I'm elitist against elitists. I'm a dick to anyone who tries to, like, anyone who's mean to a pug. I will defend that
Yeah.
pug until I hate that pug, and then I'll just hate that pug.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I really hate it when I'm in a run, be it in Warframe, even though the chat in Warframe very rarely gets used, or any
I'm
other
glad
game.
it rarely gets used.
And there's always, this one person who is trying to blame everyone else for his mistakes, or he picks like, the least experienced person in the group while he's the one fucking up. Yeah, that just grinds my gears. That's one other thing. To bring it back to Warframe, the community in Warframe is pretty good because the community in Warframe is
Doesn't
fucking
talk.
silent.
Yes, it is really good. Although Nalir and I, back in our heydays of playing Warframe, well, we still are trolls.
Oh.
But one thing that we used to always do is it used to be that I'm pretty sure it used to be that when one person made it to the end, that's when the timer start. I think.
Was it?
I think it was like that. I don't quite remember.
Might have
But
been.
what Nalir and I would always do is that while the timer was sitting out, we would crouch we would crouch out of range of extraction, and we would just crouch and stare at the person
Right next to each
who was
other,
waiting
yeah.
for extraction. And then we would run it at the very last second, and we did this so many times.
Well, I remember, like, in the early days, like, it's not so much like this now, but, like, in regards to community, it seemed like anytime random people would join us, they seemed to, like, either lag behind, not, like, lag, but just, like, be slower than us and not be as aware of what was going on, I guess, or what the mission objective was. And it's like, does no one know how to play this freaking game? Like, are we the only ones who
Well, I
know?
mean, you see us now, Nalir. Me and you are still zipping ahead way in front of
Well,
everyone.
yeah, but it's like, it seems like people now know how to
Well, I get
just
lost.
know what's happening. Well, yeah, it's easy to get lost with Warframe's fucking map system.
I mean, I'd get lost if there wasn't a map marker. I do have a poor sense of direction, as we found out in the dojo. The only reason I don't get lost on maps is because there's a map marker, and I played Warframe long enough to get used to the shitty map marker design that I can pretty much figure out where I'm supposed to go. Despite how shitty it
bugs out.
Yeah,
along with all the other bugs in Warframe.
That's one thing that Warframe really, really needs to improve upon is the maps, because they make no sense whatsoever.
It's looked the same. Like it's pretty much looked exactly the same the whole time. Like there's like a few differences, I think, maybe, but like it still bugs out to all hell, especially on those infested maps where it's like MC Escher design, level design, where you're like, what the fuck? I can't even move around here.
The level design itself is really it's really good. Like
it's usually good. Yeah.
It looks gorgeous, and then you get this little shitty map that's telling you go straight on. You go straight on.
Even if you open up your map, it's still crap.
Yes,
Yeah,
and you just
who does
run.
That?
Yeah, but you just run straight on, because your marker tells you to run straight on, and you just run into
and then
a
tells
wall.
you to go the opposite way.
Yes.
And you reach that wall, and it's like, well, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Like, that's one thing I like about Zephyr is if I'm in a room where I know the map marker is gonna go to total bullshit because the objective is on. There's so many levels in this room, and it's on one of these levels, and I won't know. I just press the fly button, and I watch my map. It's like, okay, I was around this level when it stopped being a bitch. What's really funny though about that map, you press the map, and it's kind of hard to see because it's opaque. But it's like, okay, I open up this map. Now it's even more obvious that this map is bullshit. Okay, let me go back to the mini map.
Yeah.
But
opaque? Do you mean opaque?
Yeah. I talk funny.
When you said opaque, I thought of like, wait, Tupac? What?
Yeah, remember Incense?
Incense.
But I think we could just go in circles at this point. I think this is a good place to...
You do actually go in circles on that map.
Yeah. Oh, I finished it. But I think that's a good place to wrap up. In final notes, what I think in general we have to say about Warframe is don't play it, because if you do, you get addicted. It's addicting as shit, it's fun as shit, and you'll never stop playing it, so don't play it in the first place. But
Do try
really,
to play with your friends if you have any, because
yeah, if you have any.
if you have any.
Unless you're like some poor lonely guy who's watching us and loves us, we love you. Play with me. I'll play with you.
I'll play with you.
I'll play with you. But
Well, ding dong.
I feel like playing Warframe right now, so I want to wrap up the podcast. So
Yeah, it's not this podcast. We're gonna play this shitty game more.
this has been one of our. I feel like this has been one of our most fun podcasts. We weren't so serious. But this has been Pixxelated as our guest, Savage as our unknown guest. Say hi again, Savage, if you're here.
Well, it's our unexpected guest, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I guess
Okay.
it's gone now.
Say bye. Bye. Say bye.
Like, favorite, and
Pixxelated.
subscribe.
Yeah, do that.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.